Origin Stories, take 2, marker.
What's the first line again? Oh, I almost forgot. Why can't I say this? Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Welcome to the Earth Mates podcast. Together, we explore how to find your path from climate anxiety to community action by asking, who are you? Because just like any relationship, that matters. So get ready to be raw and real, but also playful and silly with me, Chief Relationship Officer Amber Peoples, as we discover what's possible through the lens of the 5 Earth Archetypes. Curiosity and subscription buttons highly encouraged. What happens when I say the phrase Earth relationship out loud? I'll do it again just to make sure. Earth relationship. Or perhaps if you read a podcast description for this, like join in as Amber interviews people from each of the 5 Earth relationship types. Or perhaps you peek over my shoulder at a TV show pitch that I'm working on that says 5 hosts that each represent an Earth relationship type are the show's beloved personalities. What happens inside you? Your brain, your heart, your body? Well, what I have found after a year of using the phrase Earth relationship is that a handful of folks lean in with curiosity, ready to discover more, but far more view it as jargon, something to think they should know, but they don't. So they feel shame and seek distance. Now, this was an interesting and important discovery. Something I had hoped would bring people closer actually distanced them. It was time to take another look. Now, one explanation could simply be due to the newness of the phrase. For example, did the term love languages take off right away? Or how about attachment styles? Or did these phrases only become comfortable after a certain tipping point? Should I factor in a learning curve? As I sat with these questions, I decided that accessibility and urgency are more important. After all, 1.5 degrees is coming fast. So I felt called to look at examples of movements that are new, yet ignite people's curiosity, like the climate optimist or revolutionary love project. These terms and titles hold a resonance, calling people in. So I went on a mission to find the sweet spot I needed. This involved getting more real-world feedback and also hiring a copywriting colleague to help me get out of my own way and look at the language with fresh eyes. Because life is certainly not linear, I also recorded over a dozen podcast episodes during the same time. So unless I find some ingenious way to edit these moments, you will hear me refer to Earth relationship and Earth relationship types in many of these beginning shows. Actually, kind of curious what will happen. I hope you will take a listen and let me know. And even more importantly, I hope you'll gain great insights from the other 99.9% of words in these shows. But before I reveal the new phrases we landed on, I want to root you in the story that ignited my passion to be in conversation and community with you in this way. It starts during the autumn of 2016. I had just returned to the US after managing a 750-seat theater at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. It was a doozy. My team worked on 5 to 7 shows a day and brought in 25% of all ticket sales for a 26 venue company. It's kind of staggering. While in recovery mode, I traveled throughout Scotland to walk the paths of my ancestors. I listened to those lands, and they communicated through my blood and my bones, connecting old ways of knowing with the modern world I knew. Upon returning to Turtle Island, I began to integrate those powerful 9 weeks during both my waking and dreaming time. A month later, another big event occurred. In bittersweet alignment, musician Leonard Cohen died the day before Hillary Clinton lost the United States presidential election. The time was ripe for some soul-level questions. What don't I understand? What's next for me? What's next for anybody? Well, when I ask big intentional questions like this, I often get answers either by hearing words or experiencing synchronicity. This time, it started with words. Earth is your home. Arts are your skill set. Now, for about 5 minutes, I felt awestruck. Then reality set in as I wondered, what the heck do I do with that? Well, that's when synchronicity started kicking in. Coffee dates and lots of research filled my calendar, eventually leading to managing farmers markets, hosting science on tap nights, and even creating a 10-day, 135-mile celebration of food, art, and place along the southern Oregon coast. Until March 11th, 2020. When I left the theater gig knowing we were not coming back anytime soon. Walking out, my overpowering thought was that the time had come for a project I'd been carrying in my back pocket for 2 years. Climate of Awe, Arts with Ecology. A docuseries that dares to partner artists with ecologists in a 30-day outdoor social experiment and ask, what will radical climate projects reveal about the heights of discovery, the depths of relationships, and the mess in between? Now, switching from event production to film is a process, but my first priority was the unique distribution strategy I discovered back in 2018. The people who shared it with me called it a way to make movies that make movements. And it required a much steeper learning curve. So it was time to expand my artistic skill set. So sheltering in place for me meant becoming a marketer. My ability to craft words and images that influence people's actions grew exponentially. I explored how to help people make the leap from what they know to what they want to know, using tools like curiosity, urgency, belonging, and transformation. Along the way, what I heard in 2016 grew louder and clearer. Earth is your home. Arts are your skill set. Their simplicity was paramount, but I knew the message needed to include others. Earth is home to billions of people and many more plants, animals, and elementals. And as climate change becomes a daily reality, people are asking, what can I do? Some with passion, but many others like this emoji character. That's not a particularly empowering pose. In fact, it's rather defeatist. But as nature teaches us, endings are also moments of new beginnings. And thankfully, synchronicity pointed the way again when I had the chance to learn from physicist Fritjof Capra about systems theory. Step by step, he showed us how our world is full of interconnected networks that arise from the very biological nature of life. In a modern worldview with so much separation, the information felt almost revolutionary. One class in particular laid the foundation for us being here today on this podcast. Capra shared how people experience oneness and belonging through 5 sets of skills and practices. These range from researching the atoms of our material existence to experiencing transcendence through embodiment. That moment added a great deal of energy to my ongoing quest. In that moment, I knew that the question, what can I do, can be answered with a different set of questions. Who are you? What's your gifts? How do you feel like you belong on this planet? Then 5 archetypes revealed themselves to me. Molecular science, networked ecologies, woven designs, metaphorical artistry, embodied mysticism. And together, they create a full spectrum of ways to be in relationship with planet, self, and others. Just like a rainbow, each archetype has a distinct shade while also blending into one another, like the most exquisite sunset. Plus, when combined, they are a great group of friends to invite to a party. Earth is our home. You have a skill set and a way of belonging. Let's work together in relationship. Once I had this formula, my artistry and connection to nature continued to grow. The docuseries Climate of Awe that I mentioned had been in my back pocket when COVID changed our lives. Well, as I record this podcast, it's moving from pitches to partnerships. Along the way, another reality TV show pitch blossomed called How on Earth and is ready to shoot with a production company. Plus, in an effort to share these archetypes faster than the speed of film, this podcast is reaching you today. Just like all of Western stories can be distilled into 6 plot lines, yes, that's true. All of these stories are the 5 archetypes interacting, belonging, and contributing. And I welcome you on this journey with me to connect across our differences, to feel at home, and to have fun doing it. Here on the podcast, I will continue to create short 10 to 15-minute solo stories like this one. I will also interview special guests like Lawrence Cole that illuminate foundational ideas like the phrase, technologies of belonging and connection. And most often, I will interview people that contribute their skills to climate action. People like Guaniasta Jock, who moves as an embodiment type. Isaias Hernandez, who creates as a metaphor type. Stephanie Zhang, who facilitates as a weaver type. Freddie Davis III, who connects as a network type. And Bernadette Rogers, who experiments as a molecule type. Who do you resonate with? Who will stretch you to think differently? And how will you grow in relationship with the earth as a result? Join us to find out.
Oh, I almost forgot. At the beginning of the episode, I promised to tell you what phrases I'm using now instead of Earth relationship. Check it out. What do you think? I'm definitely ready to get out there and find out. Let's give it a go.
Hey, Earthmate. How did that episode resonate? Did it stretch you, inspire you, or perhaps irk you? I'm here for it, so please reach out. Besides the socials, we have a community to practice with on our website, eartharchetypes.com, where more Earth archetypes can guide your path and become dear friends. A great place to start is the quiz to discover your type. Oh, and on your way, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. See you again soon.